What's going on, guys? I'm Geeked, and welcome to a video where I'll be destroying a myth. That doesn't sound right, but yes. So the myth basically is that you have to have a desk to use a PC or a computer. Preferably, yes, because it's a desktop and you need a keyboard, mouse, and you need to be quite close to your desk and everything, but it's not required. Now, I rather talk about what this build is going to be about. So yeah, this is a build guide. It doesn't sound like a build guide, but it is. And it's basically the new console killer. You could call it the console killer 3.0. I've done like two of these. But this build is basically the true console killer. It's the size of a console, and it performs as well and above than a console. And it comes around about the price of a console as well. So this build comes around about £400/$500 if you live in the US. And let's get in the build. So for the processor, we're going to go with the AMD Athlon X4 860K. I've used this in my second console killer build, and I really like the CPU because it's a bang for the buck processor. Clocked at 3.7 GHz, is a quad-core CPU on the socket FM2+. That also means it requires a discrete GPU, which I prefer than having an APU. If I'm on a budget, I probably would have went with an APU and probably crossfired, but I don't have an AMD GPU, so I can't really do that. But this processor is perfect. It features 4 cores. Now, I would have gone with the Pentium G3258 because it has better per core performance, even though it has 2 cores, but it has better single core performance. Whilst this one has 4 cores, which can come in handy in future games if you want to keep this PC in the future. And let's go with the motherboard. We have the MSI A88XI AC board, made running on the AMD FM2+ socket. Now this is a mini ITX motherboard. Again, it features DDR3 memory support, which is pretty much standard nowadays. SATA 3 6GB/s ports, and it also features PCIe 3.0 16X lane, which means we can have higher bandwidth capability between our graphics card and our whole system overall. Now, we won't be using the I/O like the video I/O because we are having a discrete GPU, which I'll be talking about. It's a special graphics card that we're going to have in this build. This build also features AC Wi-Fi, and I think it's 300 Mbps, which is really good because I think 120 or below is not really where you should be. Especially if you add this as a console, wireless is a must. For the memory, we're going to have Corsair Vengeance LP 8GB DDR3 1600 MHz stick. This performs exactly the same as the original Vengeance, it's just that it has a smaller heat spreader, and the old ones have these little spikes at the top. This one doesn't, though that does provide ample airflow within the RAM modules itself. This is low profile memory, so it'll fit in our case perfectly. Again, 1600 MHz DDR3. There's nothing much to talk about this memory. It's great reliable memory with a great heat spreader. You can choose between different colors. In the website, which I'll provide, which is the PC Power Picker links, again both of them for the UK and US, I've chosen blue. Just any color. You can even change that if you want to. For our hard drive, we're going to go with the 1TB Seagate Barracuda drive. Again, 3.5-inch drive. SATA 3 hard drive, SATA 3 6GB/s, and 64 megs of cache. This hard drive I've used in every single build I've ever had, just because it's reliable and it's just a great drive to have. You can't go wrong with something like this. For the main attraction, the graphics card, we're going to have the Gigabyte GeForce GTX 750 Ti OC with an overclockable, low-profile graphics card. This is my favourite console killer graphics card at the current market. I have chosen the R9, I think it's the R9 285, but you can't. This is the highest end low profile graphics card you can get on the market right now. It features 2GB of GDDR5 memory. I think it's on a 256-bit bus, and it's just a great graphics card to have. Firstly, it's low profile, so in the box you'll have a low profile bracket included, and which is a good thing, even though the original size bracket has 2 vents. Not going to perform issues. It's not going to perform a lot of airflow because the way the heat pipes work on this thing is like they're not direct contact. They have a fan with a heat sink, and that will just cool the graphics card. Now, I won't recommend this putting it on like 4K load. I don't think it will handle 4K that well. Like probably the Valve games it might do well, but I still wouldn't recommend this on 4K. I will still reach from 720 to 1080p or 900p marks and upscale the image. It's got a 1033 MHz core speed on the GPU, and it can overclock to 1111 MHz. That's the boost clock. And the memory speed on this is 5400 MHz. It features 640 CUDA cores, and the I/O is pretty simple with one DVI-I, 2 HDMI ports, and one display port. I chose something with 2 HDMI ports since this is going to be connected to your TV anyways. It's nice to have a bit of capability, or you can have like a dual setup. Something like, if you probably know who Nerdgasm is, Barnacle, he has like TVs instead of monitors, and I think he uses HDMI. But HDMI provides better performance than your DVI since it provides sound, but still the display port is the highest end I/O you can currently get, or Thunderbolt. So really think about how you're going to use this PC. If you're going to use this on your desk, I would recommend going with my old 2.0 console killer build since it does provide better performance. But if you're going to use it on a TV, this is the perfect graphics card and the perfect build overall to have. Now, to house all these components, we're going to have the Silverstone Milo ML03B Micro ATX / Mini ITX Black Slim HTPC case. This case features USB 3.0 with, it doesn't come with a power supply, but obviously it fits a standard ATX power supply. This is made for a HTPC, so it's a home theater PC case, but it's enough for us to make it into a console pretty much. It features great airflow. Since it does support micro ATX, I chose mini ITX just because it was a higher cost. We want to have a nice ample airflow going around the system. Now again, we have got a low profile bracket, so our graphics card will work just fine. There is an option to add a single 5¼ inch bay if you want to. Include 2 USB 3.0 slots and supports your standard ATX, and it supports 4 80mm fans, so you can have the Noctua 80mm fans. It will just work absolutely fine. You can accommodate up to 3.5 inch drives, so 3.5 inch hard drives, or 5 2.5 inch SSDs, or smaller hard drives, the one which fits in laptops. This is a great case. I think it's a bit bigger in lengthwise and a bit taller than an Xbox One, but you know, it's a high-end case, and I think you can't go any smaller without sacrificing on a lot of airflow issues, and especially if it's a standard power supply, you can't go wrong with this case. To power the whole system, we're going to have the EVGA White 430 watt power supply. This is an 80 plus power supply. Again, it features enough connectors and stuff. Again, one PCIe connector, which is a 6+2 pin. I don't think the graphics card does take a PCIe connector, but if it does, we already have it on here, so I think I'll write in the description below. I'll check, and I'm not sure if it does, but I'll write in the description below if it does take a PCIe card, PCIe connection, I mean. And it's just a great power supply. I think I've used it in my old builds. So basically, this is the build. Sorry if I've not been uploading lately. It's just that I need to get this video prepared. It's not as long as my older builds are, but you know, it's just something which I wanted to do. Just stop this myth that you can't have your PC connected to your TV. Well, you can, but like, people say, how are you going to fit in a cabinet, this and that, into the TV stand? Well, you can build a PC like this. You'll have something which is the true console killer. It's pretty much the size of a next gen console. It works just as well. You can install Windows 10 when it comes out, still put all your applications, and it's a PC, so it's going to work with all your desktop applications anyways. Get a wireless mouse and keyboard, and even buy an Xbox 360 or Xbox One controller, hook it onto this, or any controller really, like something like a Steam controller even, hook it onto this and you'll be fine, ready to go. You have a console running on PC grade graphics. So thanks for watching, guys. Remember, this build comes to £400 or $500 if you live in the US, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Remember to like, remember to subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.